In tech, some rivalries are just legendary. So when you see these companies suddenly working together, you have to wonder what's going on. Something must be very wrong, or maybe very right. Today, we're going to dig into the crazy threat that forced this alliance between sworn enemies and what it really means for, well, the security of our entire digital world. So yeah, that's the big question, right? Why are these massive rivals suddenly playing nice? I mean, for decades, these guys have been at each other's throats, fighting for every inch of market share, for every top engineer. So what on earth could be so huge, so threatening, that it makes them call a truce? Let's dive in. And just look at this list, seriously. It's a who's who of global tech. Apple, Google, Microsoft. I mean, these companies practically invented competition. And it doesn't stop there. You've got the top security firms like CrowdStrike and Palo Alto Networks. And then, wait for it, JP Morgan Chase, a bank. When one of the biggest banks in the world joins a tech security alliance, you know for sure this isn't just about software bugs anymore. This is about the stability of the whole economy. So what's the reason for all this? Well, the catalyst has a name. It's called Mythos. And it's not just a new AI model. It's what's being called the Mythos threshold. Think of it less like an update and more like a total phase shift in what AI is capable of, especially when it comes to cybersecurity. Okay, so what is this thing? It's an AI model from the research lab Anthropic, and it's called Mythos. But here's the thing. This isn't your friendly neighborhood chatbot. It wasn't built to rate poems or make cool images. It was purpose-built for one incredibly powerful task: to find on its own critical flaws in the software that runs pretty much everything, and then figure out how to exploit them. And this is where the story gets really interesting. Anthropic, the company that made it, decided that Mythos was just too dangerous for a public release. Just let that sink in for a second. This is a first. A major AI lab has held back a model, not because it might say something offensive, but because of what it could digitally do. Its raw capability was considered too powerful a weapon to just let out into the wild. So just how powerful are we talking? Well, check out this number. The UK's AI Safety Institute threw a bunch of expert-level cybersecurity challenges at Mythos, the kind of stuff that other AIs couldn't even begin to solve. Their success rate was basically zero. Mythos, it solved them 73% of the time. That's not just an improvement, it's a whole new ballgame, a quantum leap. And with that power, it made some absolutely staggering discoveries. On its own, Mythos dug up thousands of zero-day vulnerabilities, flaws nobody knew existed. Get this, it found a critical bug in OpenBSD that had been hiding there for 27 years, surviving decades of human experts looking at it. It also found a flaw in the FFmpeg video software, a piece of code that had been scanned by other automated tools over 5 million times, and they all missed it. This quote from the security firm Tanium really just nails it. The human is no longer the bottleneck in the exploit pipeline. It used to be that even if you found a bug, you still needed a really smart, highly skilled person to figure out how to actually use it. And that took time. Mythos just removes that step. It completely removes the human bottleneck. Now, the entire process, from finding the flaw to building the weapon, is automated and happens at the speed of a machine. So you can imagine the realization hitting everyone in the industry all at once. This isn't just some new toy for hackers. A world where Mythos-level AI exists is a world with a systemic, infrastructure-level risk. We're talking a threat to the entire digital economy. And that's why they started making those phone calls to their rivals. Yeah, and this visual right here, it shows you the new reality perfectly. This is what's called time to exploit. Basically, it's the gap between when a security flaw is discovered and when bad actors start using it. It used to be measured in years, then it shrank to months. In 2024, it was down to about 56 days. But with an AI like Mythos, that window slams shut. It collapses to just a few hours. There's no way human defenders can keep up with that pace. No way. And that's why experts have a name for this. They're calling it the AI vulnerability storm. And it's a good name because this isn't just some passing shower. It's a permanent structural change to the entire security landscape. The old way of doing things, finding a bug, writing a patch, rolling it out, it's just too slow now. It's like trying to patch a leaky boat with duct tape during a hurricane. Okay, so that brings us right back to that alliance we talked about at the beginning. You have this massive infrastructure-level threat. So what do? Well, the industry came up with something completely new, something unprecedented. It's called Project Glasswing. So what exactly is Project Glasswing?
Simple. It's the first ever AI-driven global security alliance. And their strategy is brilliant, really. It's not about trying to outrun the storm. It's about harnessing the lightning. The idea is to take the insane offensive power of Mythos and turn it into a defensive shield before anyone else gets their hands on it.
And their mission is pretty straightforward, but man, is it ambitious. Step 1, get all these rivals in a room and on the same page. Step 2, unleash Mythos, but for defense. Turn its power inward, scanning all of their own most critical systems. The goal? Find and fix all those ticking time bombs before the bad guys do. And finally, coordinate the whole thing with governments, basically creating a massive public-private defense shield. And they are putting their money where their mouth is. We're talking serious cash. Anthropic kicked things off with an initial commitment of $104 million. Now, most of that is in credits for the partners to actually use the Mythos model, but it also includes $4 million in cold, hard cash for the open source foundations that so much of the internet is built on. But, as smart and as necessary as this whole thing seems, it does raise a pretty tricky question. When you concentrate this much defensive power in the hands of just a few very powerful companies, are you accidentally creating a new kind of global divide?
Because here's the thing you have to remember. An AI like Mythos isn't neutral. It's not some objective force for good. It does what it's told. And the decisions about what to scan first, which flaws are most important to fix, which parts of the world get protected, all of that is going to be shaped by the business goals and strategies of the companies in charge of it.
And this isn't just speculation. A report from Shunyatex Global put it really bluntly. They warned that if this powerful AI is only focused on protecting the digital infrastructure that's most valuable to its Western owners, then huge, fast-growing markets like India and others could just get left behind. They'd be less protected and way more vulnerable. What you end up with is a world of cybersecurity haves and have-nots. You've got the countries and companies that are inside this new superpower defensive bubble. And then you've got everyone else who are facing the exact same AI-powered threats, but with none of the AI-powered defenses. It's a recipe for a new kind of digital inequality. And here's the final twist. Even for the haves, inside that bubble, the protection they have is fragile. This head start they've bought themselves, the clock is ticking on it, and it's ticking fast. Because the kind of tech that powers Mythos, it's not going to stay locked up in one company's vault for very long.
Yeah, everyone who knows this space is clear on one thing. The advantage Project Glasswing gives them is measured in months, not years. The speed of AI development is just breathtaking. What's a cutting-edge frontier model today is going to be an open-source tool that anyone can download tomorrow.
I mean, just look at this timeline. It shows you exactly how fast this game is changing. Right now in 2024, there's about a 16-month gap between the top-tier models and what the open-source community can do. By 2026, that gap is forecast to shrink to just 60 days. 2 months, and in the very near future, that gap could basically become zero. New capabilities could be available to everyone almost instantly.
So what does all this mean? It means we are right at the beginning of a brand new kind of arms race. Forget tanks, forget missiles. This one is fought with AI models. It's a constant, lightning-fast battle between AI-powered offense and AI-powered defense. And the security of our entire digital world is what's hanging in the balance. Look, Project Glasswing is a really clever move. It's probably necessary. You could even say it's a little desperate. It's all about buying time, giving the defenders a head start. But it leaves all of us with a really big, unsettling question for the future. What happens to our world when this power, the power to find and exploit any flaw in our digital foundation, belongs to everyone?